Okay, what a day, and what a week we got coming up. I don't know if you are aware, but this week there's a lot going on. Um,
Mm.
for everyone that is a connoisseur of gaming handhelds, anybody that loves the MCU, it's a great week, man. I just want to know, how was your weekend? How have you been?
Bro, it's been one of those weeks, it seems like the hits keep coming, as they say, but I've been enjoying myself because, as you say, it is handheld day. Hip
Yes.
hip hooray, it is handheld day.
Man, let me tell you something. Like, we let's address the elephant in the room. Um, Today is the official launch day of the Asus ROG Ally X, and we have a video here from the relaxing end that I really like watching this dude's unboxings and stuff because it relaxes me, and I think that
Mm-hmm,
that's what he's going for, right? But
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
what's this called? But Kate, like, to this day, and I don't know if this happens to you or anybody listening, I'm like a little kid when it comes to launch day, okay, of hardware. I still get the
Absolutely.
butterflies the night before. I'm like, like anxious during the night before I go to sleep. And then I wake up always like the Undertaker. I just rise up and like a bullet right out of bed and I'm ready to go, right? So, unfortunately for me, I have not been able to join in the festivities of those that have received theirs because Best Buy has shipped my item. Um, FedEx let me know that they would be here between 1 to 4 p.m. That window closed on me. And then when I contacted them, they gave me the 6 through 9 p.m. window. So it might it might very well be that while we're doing the show, they leave the package. I don't know. But I'm
Mm.
hoping for the best. But hey, I'm not the only one that got some good stuff. We'll talk about that later on. I understand that you may have received something today too that you were looking forward to, something that we can show off, and I think that's going to be exciting. But let's start always like we do with our cold openings. Okay, let's talk about, um are you excited for Deadpool versus Wolverine coming out this Thursday, man? Is it Thursday
Bro,
or Friday?
I think it's Thursday night.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, come on, that is a ridiculous question to ask me.
Oh
The
my
only the
god,
only
dude.
reason I don't have the same sleeve you do is because the skin tone doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? The skin tone just doesn't
Hey,
work.
you
But
can
no,
get away
I'm
with it.
super excited.
You can
I
get away
I
with
am
it.
I am like so excited. So those who may not know, Marvel Zombie from way back, basically started my comic book career watching the X-Men, watching the cartoon, the animated show,
Oh, the
and
animated.
reading
Yep.
reading all the comics and all of that. So
Yep.
I'm a big fan. So like the mashup, oh, forget about it, bro. Like,
Dude.
and what I've heard, rumors and speculation, is they're really going hard on the
Yeah.
cameos and all the things you want. Hell yeah, bro. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I
I'm
think
super
I
excited.
think I think that a lot of people are gonna get out of there really happy, like they did with Doctor Strange and the
Mhm.
something of madness. I forgot the name of it.
Oh my
Um,
god, now you're gonna put me on the spot. Something of
the
madness. Yeah.
yes, I can't believe I don't remember the full name,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't, like, since Endgame. Obviously, in my opinion, the MCU has fallen off in terms of
Multiverse
quality.
of madness.
Multiverse of Madness. There you go. Not
Yeah.
everything. Don't get me wrong. There's been some
Hmm.
gems, hidden gems here and there, but overall the quality is subjective. Some people are
Hmm.
gonna like things, some people are not. But overall, to me, this is what I hope to be a return to form to what the MCU standard is of
Hmm.
epicness and excitement when you're gonna go see a movie. And I know for a fact that everyone, as soon as Hugh Jackman comes out, is gonna go crazy because he's a living legend, dude. He right now he is Wolverine personified.
So let me ask you something about Wolverine, okay?
Yeah,
About
yeah,
Wolverine specifically, and then we can move on.
yeah, yeah.
I have watched every single X-Men like iteration with Wolverine in it, okay?
Yeah.
Every single one I have watched, okay? My favorite being Logan. Okay, like
Oh,
I've even watched the one where the Wolverine, where he's in Japan, the whole thing. I love that. Right?
I like that movie too. To be honest with you,
Yes, I'm the one who had nice things to say about X-Men Origins, which by and large was a trash movie, but there were parts of it I liked. You
there's
know what I'm
parts of
saying?
it,
Like there
dude.
is,
I'm
there
like
is,
that too. When you like something,
right?
you kind of find
You you find
its
the
good
you
stuff.
find the love, right? You find the love.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I say all this to say, and I haven't seen the movie, right? does it look like he's a little artificially roided up right now? He just looks a little too hard. You know what I mean? Like the veins and the muscles are bulging a little too much. Like this is a little too much, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think the thing is that when it comes to when it comes to him playing Wolverine, he really took that to heart. And the thing is that if you remember in that Wolverine movie, when he goes to Japan, he was ripped, dude. And he said he was doing some intense workouts for that film. And I guess that he tried, he's got to do and take the shortcuts to kind of live up to the moniker. So I respect the hustle. The
veins is just like, whoa, my God. It's like, I don't know if you've seen The Boys. He's got snakes under his skin right now. It's just like, what's going on?
You can tell that he definitely called up his boy, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's like, hey, I need a little bit of help here. Help me figure out how I can bulk up for my next Wolverine film. But what I was going to tell you, Kay, is that when in seeing Wolverine Deadpool coming this week, return to form, like I was saying, and then the Captain America A New World trailer that was a few weeks back. Wow, what a back-to-back combo that could be. So that's why I'm telling you that anticipation is building again. So I hope for good things.
Feige's putting his foot down, man. He's putting his foot down. He's like, oh, y'all don't remember I'm prolific? Let me show you. You know what I mean? Hopefully it all works out.
Sometimes that's what it takes. So okay, we have that rolling, which by the way, we owe it to the people to give them a proper X-Men 97 on the reel. Okay, and we got to hold each other accountable for that because the good people deserve that, and damn it, we deserve to talk about it too. That's how good it was.
Oh yeah, yes. You know, and it's interesting you bring this up before we get this thing started proper. So for the few that are in here right now that are watching us, you guys always here. You're always pulling up, always showing us some respect, being in the show, being in the chat. We appreciate y'all. So soon enough there will be an initiative that we will be starting. Right. And this initiative will allow us to broaden our horizons a little bit, just so you guys are aware of this. And you guys in the chat get to hear this, right? We're working on logos right now. We're working on certain things. There will be some content behind certain walls that you may have to pay for. Let me just be honest. But in doing so, you'll get all those things that you're describing right now. What I'm talking about is, like, I want to do an on the reel talking about X-Men 97. And in doing so, maybe we watch X-Men 97 in snippets and we go through it and we talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I want to do I want to do The Boys, right? And I want to maybe we sit down and we watch it and really go through it piece by piece and really talk about it to its fullest extent. And I'll explain all the details and the machinations as to why we're doing it the way we're doing it soon enough, because it will bring about some exciting things. But yes, there are on the reels coming, in addition to other things that we're working on in the background that hopefully you guys will get to be a part of and get to see very soon.
Absolutely, Kay. And all those things are looking forward to it, man, because I look, you know us, man. We love talking about this stuff off, off camera. So it's just going to be like another conversation. So, Kay, let's get into the big topic, right? Because we named we named this episode Flexing, and I hope you appreciate what I did with the thumbnail there. I did the Predator, the Carl.
I saw the roided up arms. That's
the Arnold and Carl Weathers just coming together, and like the earth shook, if you remember that. And
I do.
And the reason that I named him that, it's because I think that this week, man, I think that if you're a handheld PC gamer, there's some good stuff coming out this week for you, and it's time to flex, and let's get right into it, right? Let's start off with the ROG Ally X. Today we saw lots of reviews, and credit to Jenna here, Ezerick. She did a great video here that I watched earlier today.
Isn't that's Justine's sister, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, you are correct. Yes. And let me tell you, her video was one of my favorites that I saw today. It was she's a great editor, just like her sister. Let me tell you.
Real fun tip. I got to see, didn't meet them, but I got to see them at the Xbox showcase. They were like right over there, and I was like, "Hey, isn't that them?"
Yeah,
pretty cool.
That is cool.
Anyway,
so what's this called? So, Kay, I obviously starting last night around, I want to say I woke up around 6 a.m. right, and right from the get go, I looked real quickly. to see if anyone had posted reviews, and there were already a couple. So I watched them, and then throughout the day, I have watched in total like 13 reviews. So even though I haven't had hands-on with the device, I pretty much know what the reviewers are saying, and it sounds very promising. Okay, it sounds like if Asus really like they did good here, you know, and I wanna, and right off the bat I want to say that, you know me, I've been hyped for this device, and it's been kind of like a wait and see with Asus as a company as a whole, with their RMA process and all that, and that we still they still need to be proven on that, right? If they're going to change that, because I mean, everyone has taken them to task, and rightfully so.
But let's give them credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
By all accounts, from a hardware perspective, this thing knocks it out of the park. It is better in every way than the original, which, like, they even seem to have tweaked the chipset a little bit to get a bit more optimization there, which is really cool. So you know, salute to them. They did a great job. You know, like you say, the RMA stuff is yet to be proven. I'll still keep my eyes out on that, because that stuff is very important.
Right.
But from a hardware perspective, they knocked it out of the park. What you gonna say? That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the thing is that if you guys want to watch what I consider to be the definitive review, like I said, I watched 13 of them. There's two that I can point you to. There's the Fox, if everyone knows who that is.
Oh yeah. Okay, the man's great.
The Fox had a fantastic review, and let me pull up his review right now. He literally named it. Speaking of which, he literally named it the definitive review, and it really is that. It's about 30 plus minutes. So if you're one of those people that are on the fence, if you don't own an original ROG Ally, if you do
show some of his footage.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's see some of it.
Yeah.
So
if you wanted to know if it's worth it for you to upgrade, etc., I'm gonna point everybody to this video, because again, I consider it the definitive video. He breaks down everything about it, from the hardware, from the controls, from what the chip is doing, what the differences that you're gonna get between the original and this one, and then you as an informed consumer can make the decision. And like me and Kay always say on the show, right? Whenever it is that you're gonna buy one of these PC handhelds, the most important thing to remember is that there's always going to be compromises depending on which route you choose to go and which device you choose to go with, right? There is no one size fits all solution that's gonna give you everything, but there is so much choice out there that you can find the one that's perfect for you. You know, that I think that's the market that we're in. So okay, let me ask you. You watched the Fox review today. Just give me your quick thoughts around number one, what you thought of his review, and then what you think about, you know, Asus and kind of like what they did here with the ROG Ally X.
Yeah. So some know that I'm critical of Asus in some of their business practices, right? And when this came out, I was cautiously optimistic, but I kind of was telling people to temper their expectations. You know, let's see what comes out first and foremost. And now, the reason why I am that way is because whether you like it or not, right? And the proof is in the pudding based on the hardware they release. They define the market, because you can walk into a Best Buy and just see it there. Some places, some Best Buys you walk into, you don't even see the Lenovo Legion Go. The only one on display is the ROG Ally, right? So it bestows upon them a very, very important responsibility, because if they are not forthcoming in the best way possible, it sours the market, right? It sours the casuals, because if it shows up and it's not quite what it could be, or if there's some kind of shadiness or anything like that in any kind of way, then it kind of sours it for a market that they don't necessarily own, but they are now the leaders of by de facto, because in the United States anyway, you could just walk into a store and theirs is the representative.
Yeah, that's a very good way to look at things, where others won't see that. So I think that's a very good point.
That's a big reason why that right there is a big reason why I am very like cognizant, and I keep them to task on making sure they come out with the best they can, because they, whether for better or worse, they represent all of them now, right? Most folks don't go and dig deep and find out all the various incarnations that are out there and blah 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 blah. No, they'll just walk into a Best Buy, or they'll walk into one of their local mom and pop shops and see what the norm, like, you know, what's available. And just like an Xbox and a PlayStation are available in many Best Buys, you know, depending on where you are, they have Lenovo Legion Go's. My local Best Buy has a Lenovo Legion Go on display, and not too far away from it is the ROG Ally, the original one, right? And I'm sure if I go in a few days after all the heat dies down, there'll be an Ally X sitting there as well, right? They'll probably replace the regular Ally with the X, and of course they also have a Switch, and there's that, right? So because of that, it is very incumbent upon them to represent correctly, because they have the entire market on their back at this point, right? To the normal casual consumer. So I'm always very, very cognizant of that, and I always want them to take their responsibility seriously. And based on the reviews, and let me be clear here, you know, I consider Carrie the Fox like the definitive source for all things handheld.
I
that
agree.
Man, you know, when I need to know, when I need to understand, I go to Carrie, I go to the Fox, right? And I talk to him sometimes in the DM. I've had him on the show. I may want to have him back sooner. If you're watching there, Carrie, salute to you, good sir. I want to have you back on the show sometime soon. You know, he is the source. He's the definitive. So if he's excited about it, hands down, they've done something, right? And clearly he's super excited about it. I also watched Retro Game Core, Retro Game Core, also another great podcaster in the handheld space. He speaks more to the consumer side of the house, while the Fox will speak more to the technical speeds and feeds.
Agreed.
And both of them had great things to say. Now I'll be watching more videos about it. Obviously, I'll be watching far more videos as the days progress, right? But I will say, you know, I'm happy to hear that from a hardware perspective, from a hardware standpoint, you know, it looks like they came correct here. It looks like not only did they just add a bigger battery, they added a bigger battery. They tweaked the what do you call it? The chipset a little bit. You know, you asked me some time ago, was there a concern for them not allowing there to be benchmarks? This is why. Because they were working on it right till the end, till
absolutely.
Jump, right?
So and today was the day, for those that don't know. Today was the embargo day. So we found out reviews starting this morning at 6 a.m. That's as soon as I woke up. That's when when I saw the first performance benchmarks. Now I want to make one thing clear. What you see here with the Fox in his video, that's him hooked up to an eGPU. So again, we're just cutting little snippets here and there, but please go and watch.
Watch the video.
Go watch the video. Give him, you know, the time that he deserves, because he really puts so much work into it. And everyone else that we're gonna show off here, we're gonna definitely link them below so that you can give them, you know, their well-deserved view, and as well. Give them feedback, and hopefully it helps, it helps answer something that maybe me and Kay miss.
Yep, absolutely. No, I'm really excited because, you know, and people know I used to own an ROG Ally. I moved on and I bought a different device. But again, because these guys are the definitive, they have become the representative of the market. It is so important that they get it right, because if they don't, then others will look at that and go, "Oh, these guys aren't serious," you know, stuff like that. And we can't have that. They need to be correct. And because of that, you know, slow clap. It looks like they've done really well. You know?
And from what I've seen, just not from like their performance metrics and stuff like that, but from what I've seen, they really listened to the community from everything that I've watched. And for example, even to get into the device, when we and I'm going to do that, I'm going to put a 4 terabyte SSD in there. Even the way that they thought about, okay, the thumbsticks, we want to make it easy so that people can replace them. We want to make it easy so that people can go on Etsy and buy whatever thumbsticks they want. So we're not going to make it cumbersome. They basically followed the path and the example of Valve. You know,
so one thing I will say though, that it's not perfect, even based on the reviews I've watched. It's not perfect, and there are some criticisms to be had there, and I'll put a pin in one of them later. but one that right off of jump that I did hear over and over again, and that was one of the main reasons why I stepped away from Asus a little bit. It's kind of like, remember back in the day when Samsung used to there was the Samsung phones, and then there were other Android phones. I don't know if you kept up in those waters.
Well, I didn't, but you've educated me in those waters.
Yeah. Samsung used to always be really late with their updates because they had to skin it, they had to optimize it, had to make it look like Samsung. That tends to be the problem today, even with Asus, because they roll their own driver set. It not only takes a lot longer to get their stuff, it also doesn't play so nice with eGPUs, right?
Yep.
Because AMD variant, standard AMD variant, they come out at least once a month, twice a month, depending, right? And then you have to wait after AMD has released their version to then get the specific version for the Ally, right? And while it's good when it comes out, it tends to be far more delayed because of the fact that they're rolling their own. And I'm hoping that, sooner rather than later, just leave it to the AMD drivers. Don't roll your own, right?
Yeah.
Let it be AMD's drivers so that it follows the same cadence that all the other handhelds follow. And you all get the benefits at the same time.
I get that, and I hope that they take that criticism if they hear it from us or anyone else, that if they listen to that.
I think even the Fox mentioned that as well.
Yeah. It's so important because I know exactly what you're talking about. And this and let's be specific here. This is not only an Asus problem, because the Legion Go also has it.
Same
and stuff
problem.
Like that.
Yep. Same problem. Yep.
I guess that they want to have control on that so much that you let other people do the job for you. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. So I kind of know what you mean by that. So okay, one of the things I broke this down into different categories.
Hold on, real quick. BT Maverick, quick super chat. What's going on, BT Maverick 707? Thank you for being here. Final super chat. He says, any thoughts on Intel CPU issues, and what kind of CPUs are you guys rocking currently? I'm upgrading my PC / board to an Intel i7 with an AMD Ryzen 7950X3D.
That's what I have.
How about you go first, sir?
That's exactly what I have right there. Yep.
Okay, you have the X3D. Okay, so I have I bought mine a little while ago, so at this point it's not the latest and greatest, but I'm still rather partial and happy with mine. I have an i9 3600K, so basically an Intel variant. Mine would be susceptible to these Intel issues, but when I first noticed that it was starting to have those, because it's not good. So just real quick background. Intel's chips have E-cores, right? Cores that are not as performant as the other cores. They have the main cores and they have E-cores that they defer to. And a lot of games don't like those E-cores. So if they're all active at the same time, it tends to crash a lot and have a lot of issues. One of the games some time ago that I was playing had that issue as well. So I went into the BIOS. I did a little bit of modification. I didn't turn all the E-cores off, but I did some modifications to make it not as prevalent, and it's been running right ever since, right? So I do hear that they're going to be bringing up, they're going to be talking about that more and more, and we're probably going to get drivers to assist with that. But for now, it hasn't been a problem for me. I would say, BT Maverick, if it's still a problem for you, the next game that you experience that with, let me know. Contact me in the DMs. I'll show you what I did to circumvent mine. I know you're upgrading to the Ryzen 7. You might the Ryzen CPUs. You might be better that way, right? I know that I didn't go Ryzen because they also sometimes have compatibility issues, and I've always been so I've always been an Intel guy because for a long time I used to make what do you call them, Mac Hackintoshes. I don't know if you know what a Hackintosh is.
No, I've never heard of that before. Yeah. Hackintosh.
Yeah, they're Hackintoshes. So my PC career and stuff started with an Xbox. That's long documented way back when. But I used to make a lot of music, like music production, and for a long time I used to use software that was available on Windows, but then Apple bought them, so you couldn't get it anywhere else but on a Mac. And at the time, I didn't have that much money, and Macs were expensive.
Gotcha.
But at that time, real quick, at that time, you used to be able to look into what Macs use, and Macs use gigabit motherboards Intel CPUs, and you could mimic it really well and build a Windows machine that you could then dual boot into Mac.
Oh,
right?
okay,
So
I gotcha.
yeah, and then you could basically dual boot switch between Mac and Windows, and I used to do that for a long time in order to continue using my software.
So, and it was
I haven't done
known
that
as
so much.
Hackintosh. That was kind of like
They
the
call them
street moniker.
Hackintoshes. Yes,
Okay.
that's what they call them. It's a Macintosh, but it's hacked. It's a
I
Hackintosh.
gotcha. Okay, okay.
Yes. So I've always been using Intel machines just because of that. That's why I use it. That's why I use NVIDIA as much as I do, because you couldn't get an AMD one running as easily as you could an Intel and an NVIDIA. So it's a matter of just habit at this point. You know what I mean? But yes, that's why I use it. But your machine, based on the specs you have there, bro, I think you're gonna be.
Yeah,
if your focus is specifically gaming, you're gonna be right. You know.
And I want to correct myself. I actually went back and I looked. I have a AMD Ryzen 7 7800 X3D. That's what I have.
Okay.
So
okay.
I have.
Yeah.
I got that. I got that wrong. So yeah, man. And
you don't have a small machine either. You're rolling with something
the
nice.
48,
yeah,
the 48 Super teamed up with that, and it can do some damage.
All
right, so I'm super happy and satisfied with it. So yeah, man, you're not gonna go wrong with that combination there. You heard everything Kay said there. So Kay, I have this broken down into sections how I kind of want to attack this, and then we'll move on to kind of like a little special surprise that you have on your hands here. So so to continue with the ROG Ally X launch day and reviews and stuff like that from what we saw. Let's talk about kind of the biggest upgrade of the device, and let's talk about the battery. Let's have a conversation around the battery, because we've been talking about it for months. It looks like from some reviews that I saw, and I don't know how technical they were trying to be, or they were trying to explain it in simple layman's terms, but Asus, I guess, figured, and I don't want to speak for them, but what some reviewers believe is that they brute forced their way to have longer battery life, to be to be a contender in certain arenas and to be just good enough in others, right? So from the test that I saw on most reviews, at lower TDPs, you still have things like the Steam Deck being more efficient, but the higher the TDP goes, that's where that 80 watt horsepower kind of comes in, and then it just takes over. So what I want to ask you about is looking back and seeing that they kept the same chipset, right? The Extreme, that we always laugh at. I personally think, and from what I'm seeing reviewers say, that they made the right choice here, and it looks like they also worked on some efficiencies from what the Fox was saying. But I know that we've been talking for a long time about hopefully these devices can get to a place where it's more efficiency and you don't need the 80 watt hour battery, right? But we're not in that world yet. So since we are in that world, and from the reviews that you've seen, what do you think about them putting in that 80 watt hour battery? Do you still think that maybe it was a little bit overkill? Would you have liked them to do something else? Or do you think that at the end of the day, it's going to work out for them?
So, I mean, hands down, it will work out for them. Like, that's not even a question. It will work out for them. And by and large, based on all the reviews that are coming out and what the Fox is saying and a few other folks who've had it in their hands who've done extensive testing, it succeeds, right? And it's not just a brute force, because based on some of the reviews we're seeing, their optimizations have not just doubled battery, but it's also so a long time ago, you and I were having a back and forth about it. And my contention was it shouldn't just be battery. Like, in other words, if you can't get your engine to go further, you don't just double up on gas, right? You have to work on engine efficiency so that you don't need as much gas to get you where you need to go. And it looks like they've done both, right? They can only go so much with the Extreme processor, but they've done some work in that arena, as well as adding the bigger battery, right? So I have no issue with it. Like, me personally, I would have liked, like me as a guy who plays in these waters, I would have appreciated the more RAM versus the bigger battery. I'm okay with 60 plus. I'm good after that, right? To me, I don't, because what you can do with a 80 watt hour battery is you can set the TDP to 30, right? And then just kind of keep going. But if you've seen some of my reviews that I've done off of like cloud gaming, for example, like this this is similar in that. What I mean by that is, in handhelds, like you've described already, handhelds are a device of concessions, right?
Yeah.
You just will not be able to be like, okay, this is my handheld device and all I'm playing are AAA games. It's not useful for that because you're just getting 80, 90 minutes. Like you're not really, you can't game to your heart's content at that point. You're only gaming to the battery's length, right? And it always will hit the battery. I love Cyberpunk. Where am I playing it? On this PC. I'm not playing on any hand, and I have many a handheld. I'm just not. Why? Because not because I want to and I can't, but because you find that some games are more comfortable in different places, and my big machine will be able to ray trace and do all the crazy stuff I want done, and I don't have to worry about battery here. While and y'all know me, I love my indie games and stuff, and the lighter weight games run longer on those machines. So whenever you see folks doing benchmarks and they're using AAA games, it's showing you the extreme end, but they're expecting that you don't use that extreme end, that you play more medium to indie level games, because then your battery is much longer, right? So I appreciate that because every time a small market has a new entrance, I feel like they need to add something to the conversation, right? Otherwise, it's a missed opportunity. Same thing in VR, for example. You know, the next headset comes out, it's got better optics than the other one. The next headset comes out, it does some innovation with controllers. One headset comes out, the software looks great. And when any one of them come out, the rest of the pack iterate to catch up to that thing, right? So we all keep moving forward, right? So when Steam Deck OLED came out and they had optimized that battery even better, they optimized the CPU even better, I was like, that's amazing.
And they gave you a bigger battery too.
And they gave you a bigger battery, but the optimizations were really on the CPU side, and they were like, yo, this is amazing. I can't believe they're able to squeeze so much out of this existing thing. It looks like, based on the reviews, that Asus saw that and went, hey, we can do that too. So they didn't just double up on the battery and call it a day. They also tried for optimizations. Now, the problem with what Asus has is the Extreme, even though they call it the Extreme, it's really just a laptop chip that has been like modernized or modified, if you will, for the purposes of handheld. And the unfortunate nature of a laptop chip is their sweet spot is above 16, 17 watt TDP, like heading in the upper echelons, right? Now, when you head in those upper echelons, you burn more heat, and you'll need a bigger battery to compete, right?
Makes sense. Yep.
If and when ROG Ally 2 comes out and they don't go for a natively laptop chip and instead they go for a chip, and let's be honest, AMD now sees it's valuable, so maybe Strix Point or all these other chips come out with lower TDPs, and now that becomes their mainstay, right?
That's the hope.
When that world happens, right, I think it's going to happen. When that world happens, it's great that AMD has already put an 80 watt footprint down, because now others can iterate on that 80 watt footprint, right, while still keeping the efficiencies. If it was just the 80 watt, that'd be brute forcing, that'd be snake oil, right? I still would have preferred 32 gigs, but I appreciate that, hey, there's a company that has released an 80 watt battery, because now that becomes the floor, and the next company will iterate on that technology while also bringing optimizations to the CPU, so you get the best of both worlds, right? So this is me again giving the clap, because I think it's good that this is happening, right? If it was just one side versus the other, I'd be more critical about it. But seeing that they've put some efficiencies in the processor as well, that is what I was looking for. So that's good.
Me too. And I think that watching the reviews and knowing that they did that was a cherry on top for me, to be honest with you, because like I said, I've always been a firm believer that they were going to put their best foot forward, especially with the whole RMA thing that they have going on and all that stuff, that rightfully so again. And then I know that, at least from the chatter that I see online, I believe that Asus is probably number 2 right behind Valve when it comes to the Steam Deck in this handheld market. So in knowing that and seeing that they had
it's the attention, man. They inherently get more attention, and it's not necessarily because they have the best device, but it's because they can reach the farthest. Right? You walk into a Best Buy, it's there. All the others are very difficult. Now Valve is the name in gaming when it comes to PC, so you know them. right? So the two of them are going tit for tat right now, which is good because they're both representing pretty well.
Right. And the thing is, again, when you have conversations about, because this always, like, whenever I'm talking to someone about handhelds or something, or stuff like that, this question always comes up. Well, which one should I buy? And the answer, again, it depends. It depends
Yeah,
on
sure.
it depends on
Yeah.
the type of gamer that you are. It depends if you live outside.
So
of
yeah,
school.
let me ask you that question. Let me ask you that question today, right? And I think I know what your answer is.
Mhm.
Today, if somebody were to ask you that question, what would your answer be?
For the type of gamer that I am, I would need a Windows-based handheld. I would not be satisfied with just a Steam Deck. I would
Okay.
need a Windows-based handheld because of just Game Pass, and and the different storefronts that are accessible. I'm a Call of Duty player.
You storefronts? How dare you, sir?
Well, you know what I'm trying to say. But the thing is that Call of Duty, the whenever, and it's not a lot of them that are left. Let's be honest here. But there's always that fear that something new comes out, and then all of a sudden Proton doesn't play nice, or look what's happening with Sony and PlayStation. With shame on them, how they're starting to block the games from being. That stuff right there is scary. So
yes, it is.
While the
It kinda
Steam Deck,
sucks.
while the Steam Deck is still the handheld that you can say, hey, look, at $329, you cannot go wrong to get your foot in. It really depends on what type of gamer you are. So I would just need a Windows based handheld. That's now which one I go with. It depends. I have different reasons. I wake up in different moods every day. So
I would say real quick, what I would say, me personally, if some and people come to me in my DMs all the time, if you ask me which handheld you go with, if you are not a person who plays in Xbox land, which Game Pass is really prolific, like it is right now today, go check all the games you can play in Game Pass that just came out. Freaking awesome, right? If you are not that guy, if you don't have a sub, I would still tell you to go with the Steam Deck. Steam Deck OLED is still, like, console experience, it is unmatched. It really is. Like, they've really honed it well. But I will not deny it, especially considering the fact that it's right there. You walk into Best Buy, it's backed by a warranty that you can buy at Best Buy. The ROG Ally and now the X seems to be climbing close second, right? If you are an Xbox guy and you need an Xbox outlet, 100%, I would say go definitely
or
with
the
ROG
Legion
Ally.
Go. Or the Legion Go also, it's right next to it.
Sure,
it depends. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like, there's some people that would, like I said, I have the luxury of having an 8-inch device, so a 1X player, but then I want something more portable. And that's where I think that's really why I wanted the ROG Ally X. I want something that's a little bit more compact and portable. It depends. It really depends. And again, like my cousin, when he went to go see both devices, when I recommended it to him, he saw the ROG Ally and he saw the Legion Go, and he automatically said, I like the bigger screen. Then that's what he went with.
There you go.
So
there you go. That's
everybody's different. So okay, let me move on to the second, to kind of like the second subject that I have here to kind of cover on this, and we're almost done so that we can get views on your little surprise there that you have. Let's talk about the overall ergonomics of the device, because obviously it got a color swap now to black, which in my opinion it looks better. Like, and it's gonna get less dirty, all that.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I'm just upset that I had to buy the first white one because it was starting to get yellow. I was like, no, you had to clean it every week. Like forget about it. You know what I mean?
You remember those PCs that used to get yellow in school back in the day?
Yeah. No,
Luke,
they should have had
what's up, Luke?
a black and white option from jump. I don't know.
I agree.
I was just like, come on.
I agree with
that. What's going on, Luke?
But when you take a look at the ergonomics of the device, obviously in order to get the 80 watt hour battery, they had to make it a little bit heavier. It's not that much heavier, but I mean, it is, at the end of the day, it is. But
there are some who've complained about its heaviness.
Yes.
Retro Game Core complained about its heaviness. Like that it doesn't sit in the hand as comfortably as it used to.
So that's a thing. I can't wait to get hands on to give my feedback on that. But to me, the original ROG Ally was super comfy. Um, was it as comfortable as the Steam Deck? I would say no, but I
Hmm.
think it to me personally, it was more comfortable than the Legion Go, and
Okay.
uh, and it is not more comfortable than the One X player that I have now. So
Okay.
with that said, did you see anything having to do? Do you want to talk about the actual ergonomics of it, like things that were done? I heard that the joysticks are tighter. They worked on the triggers to make them a little bit better. The
Hmm.
back buttons
Hmm.
got reduced in size. Just
See,
overall, what do
all
you think?
that all that stuff I will leave you to analyze and provide, because I know you're chomping at the bit to get your hands on yours. I want you to give me that feedback once you get it.
Yeah.
I do like that they changed the back buttons to make it a bit more streamlined, not as big. It looks like they've,
So you don't
because
hit
one of
it
the
on
biggest,
accident.
exactly, one of the
Yeah.
biggest complaints that I had when I first had it, I actually had to return mine and replace it. The first Ally was the buttons would stick. After a while, the buttons would get stuck in, right? And
Your
you'd have to
face
fidget to
buttons.
get it back out. Exactly. The
Oh
face
wow.
buttons would
Okay.
stick. Yeah. So I actually ended up, and it was really weird because when you register an ally, right? And this is a pro tip for people. If you register an ally, it connects the license key to your account, right? So you never have to put a license in. It just kind of connects it, associates it to your account.
Mm.
If you ever have to return it and you're getting another one, right? Make sure that when you're getting another one from Best Buy, that it's also a brand new one and not one that has been refurbished.
That's a
Because if
pro
that
tip right
person
there.
who refurbished it did not associate their key, you can't use it, right? Then you have to buy your own key. That happened to me. So
Wow.
I had the original Ally. It was brand new. I bought it. This keys was sticking. I had a Total Tech warranty, right? So I went in there and I'm like, all right, I need to replace it. And they're like, look, we don't have another new one for you right now, but we have a refurbished. So I'm like, well, I have a Total Tech warranty. If anything happens, I could just return it.
Right.
I take it, I bring it home. It won't associate to Windows. License is gone. Why? Because the person who had it first never disassociated the license from it. So it's just belongs to them, even though I now have the physical device, right? So it was like, if you don't want to deal with it, you'd have to go buy another Windows key to put on there, or
Yeah.
return it back to Best Buy and get another new one.
Yeah.
Right? So
Makes
just
sense.
pro tip: if you guys ever have any issues and you have to return it, make sure they either you can log in right there with Wi-Fi and see that it's associated, or just get a new one outright. Otherwise, you may have that problem yourself. Yeah.
Let's get a super chat from our good friend MJ Dark here. Okay, I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah. The great MJ Dart with a $2 super chat. What's going on, sir? Thank you for being here. He says, at least it's not the Aya Neo Black. Fingerprints galore. I know he would know because he buys all these handhelds. And yeah, I've heard that the Aya Neo's black, their black material is just notorious for fingerprint, man.
We haven't played in the Aya Neo waters, man, and I'm curious, man. I really am. I hear their software is pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty curious
yeah.
about that.
So I haven't played in their waters because they're as good as their software is, and I hear their software is almost second to none. But their quality control leaves something to be desired. Like they release so many different handhelds in such a short amount of time that a lot of the, I've talked to you about the Silicon Lottery and how sometimes you lose.
I
right?
hope I don't.
Like, no, you're not gonna, you'll be fine. Right? But I feel like I've heard a lot more Aya Neos come back with issues. Oh, this didn't work right. That did, because they're just always constantly iterating. You know me, man. I may dip a toe in the water sooner rather than later, but for now, I've been happy with what I have.
Yeah, absolutely. So when like everything that I've heard, okay, in these reviews that I've watched, the consistent thing that I keep on hearing is that just like everything with this device, it's been upgraded and upgraded in a good way. The joysticks, if you own the original ROG Ally, you know that they were a little bit mushy, they were a little bit soft, and I don't know, some people really didn't like that. And then there was the community kind of embraced changing them out and replacing them, but that was kind of hard to do, to be honest with you, because I saw it and I was a little bit intimidated, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna bother doing that. But now, but they worked on that exact thing with the face buttons, like you said, where I guess that they kind of didn't look at that at first, and you're right, things were getting stuck on certain devices, and it was one of the defects that you have when you mass produce a product, right? So,
Yes.
and it's not excusing them. I mean, there's no excuse for that stuff, but it's gonna happen. So in this go round, they learn from that mistakes. The face buttons stick out a little bit more, and they're a little bit more clicky from what people are saying. So think of
Mhm.
it more kind of like an Xbox controller is what I have been kind of that's what people have been saying on these reviews. And then even the triggers have a little click to them, a nice little click to them. And overall, again, the ergonomics, it depends. If you were a fan of the original ROG, if you've never held a ROG before, if you can go into a Best Buy and hold one and kind of get a feel for it, that's really what I hope they do. But at the end of the day, I think overall the consensus is that it's a very comfortable device, just like the first one, only better. That's what I kept on hearing the whole day, and it was just getting me more and more excited, and I would get
Yep.
more and more disappointed as my device didn't get here. And in fact, I got a
It's
text,
all right,
and
bro.
I'm wondering if it's that. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey, hey, there you go.
what's this called? But yeah, it's okay. We'll show it off
Mhm.
next week if anything. So
Yep.
okay, final step here with the
Mhm.
ROG Ally review, and then we'll move on to our next
Mhm.
subject.
Mhm.
Overall, right? I'm hearing a lot of people in their reviews say this, and it might be coming from a place that they haven't had hands on with every single device out there in the
Mhm.
marketplace, but it's getting a buzz. It
Mhm.
really is, because I'm seeing it written a lot. Um, it if this hits right, this may be known as a definitive Windows handheld. That's what I hear people saying. That's what I hear people
Sure.
writing.
Sure.
Now, again,
Yeah.
I don't know the background of these individuals, if they played in other waters and what they're comparing
Well,
it
but
to.
I can understand that, right? Like again, and I think I said this a little earlier. I can definitely understand why you would say that this is the definitive handheld, even if there are other handhelds that are more performant, that are more powerful, right? You take more of a risk when you use those other handhelds,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
You have to go buy them in websites you might not be used to. If there are issues, you may not be able to easily return it. You may have to deal with your own return policy or your own warranty situation that you have to roll your own versus just walking into a Best Buy, right? It's the sum of its parts that make it the definitive, right? It has best in class battery that's been established, right? It may not have the best in class CPU GPU combination, right? But it's good enough, right? It's got a nice screen. This screen cannot be denied. It's great, right? I'm rather partial to 1610 than 16:9. I feel like it
Yeah,
crushes Windows a little bit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
still, that's a subjective
I
little
I
thing,
did
right?
hear that today in a review, by the way.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'm always a 1610 person. Like, because then the Windows bar has room to breathe. You can actually use it. When it's 1610, it's always a little
I
crushed. But
agree
that's
with
just
that
me.
too. No, you're not
That's
alone.
just me.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
But I don't deny that it would be considered the definitive. Now, if others joined the market and those others were now side by side at Best Buy, then the whole competition becomes a whole different conversation. But today, while there are only two choices, and the two choices are the Ally and the Go, and the Go is not even as far as the Ally, yeah, it's become the definitive, because you
Yeah.
can just walk into any store and be confident and comfortable and pick one up today. Well, not today, because
Yeah.
pre-orders, but
Yeah.
soon enough, yeah. So I completely agree that it is the definitive.
Let me read this super chat for us, Kay.
Yeah.
Another $4.99 from MJ Dark. Thanks, dude. We always appreciate you and anything that you contribute to the show, man. I
Mhm.
would hold on. I would hold on to A&E. They miss release dates, and QA right now is iffy. Jack of all
Mhm.
trades, master of none. We need better software versus more devices. And again, this is coming from someone that has quite a
Oh,
collection.
he is the handheld king. We call
Yep.
him that for a reason,
I
sir.
agree. Yeah,
Yes.
100%. And then what's this called? So okay, with this whole like what you were saying, right? And I'll finish with this. I
Mm.
think that we're day 1 right now, right?
Mhm.
Anything can happen day 2 and going forward. But as of day 1, it seems like Asus may have generated the buzz that they needed. But with that said, let's pump the brakes a little bit too, because I want to say this. today when I tried to go pick one up at Best Buy, I noticed that I went because I wanted to see if I could just get one early, and then the one that they delivered, I was just going to return it because obviously I wanted it as early as possible. So what I was told while I was there is that they received 3 in the store, but they couldn't sell it to me because they needed to fill 3 pre-orders. So then I found this so weird that only 3 devices got to the store, that there wasn't more. That was kind of weird to me, right? And then the young lady that was there, super nice, she's like, listen, can't sell it to you now, but if in 5 days, if they don't pick up, we can cancel and you can pick it up. And I'm like, I don't want to wait 5 days.
You know? I could be dead by then. What's going on?
I need this thing now, like right now. And then I'm like, listen, I got one on the way home. I can wait. I'll stop being a baby. So
that's right.
I left the store. So then I started chatting with some of our members in the DM that they pre-ordered as well, and they're getting their stuff later on in the week. I also started hitting up the Reddit, looking to see what people were saying on Discord and all that good stuff. It appears, and again, I don't have any confirmation of this, Kay, and I have no idea. And I understand if they did this. It appears that Asus did not mass produce this product. This is not kind of like a rollout like they did with the ROG Ally with the OG. And I understand why, because we're coming off a world where, number one, we had upgrades with the Xbox and the PS4 to these Pro models, right? And eventually we'll have a PS5 Pro from what the rumors are saying. I think that they're playing it safe. They're not overproducing. They're just producing what they kind of see in their pre-order numbers. And you know what? Tell me if you agree with me. I think that fares well for the device, because that means less, hopefully, defects, less chances for things to go wrong. And again, it's not to excuse them. I don't want to say, hey, it's not the responsibility that SD cards went bad or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I'm just saying that hopefully this all comes together and we get something really special here. And
I don't disagree with you. I don't at all. I please finish.
No, and the last thing, right? And then what I'm trying to say with that is that at the same time, as hyped as I am for the device, as much as I will champion it if it's a great device and everything, I still don't think it's for everyone. I still will look at the person's situation or what type of player they are, and I may recommend the original Ally depending on what type of user they are. Are you a power user? Because if you are, you may want something top of the line. If you're not, you'll be perfectly fine with the OG as well. What do you think about that?
It's funny you talked about like recommending the OG Ally. Oh, hold on 1 second.
Oh yeah, yes, I saw that.
Yes, Special Nick, I did acknowledge you. You just weren't here. What's going on, sir?
What's up, man?
Hope you're doing well. It's interesting you talk about recommending the OG Ally, because I was actually talking to Boomstick and I recommended that to him still. He has an OG Ally. He says there's too PC for him, so he can't really get down with it. Right?
We'll get him. No
shade. No shade. Be honest with you. It is, yes, sir. See you at Gamescom. I will be there with bells on. I can't wait to see you, brother. Meet you in real life. Yes. I recommended Boom, and I'm gonna like maybe like take a glance at it, maybe do some optimizations for him. He is the type of gamer who sits in front of his living room, holds onto his Xbox controller and games, right? He has to sit in front of his television. He has to use his Xbox controller, and he has to use his big, beautiful 50 some odd inch screen TV.
And
right?
It has to just
That's how he games. That's how he games.
Yeah.
Right. And in that world, and I would recommend that to anybody who's here who may not be fully immersed in this PC stuff. If that's how you want to game, the original Ally is effing perfect. It's just perfect. All you need to do is buy yourself a dock, like a proper dock, plug in the 100-watt charger to it. It unlocks it to like 50 watts or 45 watts or whatever it can hit when you're over 100 watts. Plug it into your TV, set the TDP to max because you never have to worry about it because the battery is not a concern, right? And then you could just like upscale and game and have a great time. Like you never have to even worry about it. New games are coming out that you don't get access to in Steam. This can be that same thing. And you can Bluetooth up your Xbox controller. It plugs into the same television. when it's maxed out, when it's on your screen, it looks like you're playing an Xbox game.
Yeah. No rest for the wicked
Right?
a little while ago, right? A lot of people missed out on that.
Right? A lot of really, and it'll come out in 2 years or something on Xbox or on PlayStation, but you ain't got to wait that long, right? You could just plug it into your dock, put your preferred controller to it, and it's exactly the same as you would any other thing. You now just have access to games that you wouldn't have had access before. So I advocate for it. Like, now is the best time. If you're not one of those enthusiasts, now is the best time to buy an OG Ally, which is probably $300-400, even cheaper if you look around. Plug it into a dock, max that TDP,
right,
and just be good on your TV. It's excellent.
And also we do have some of our colleagues in our DMs that they are happy with their ROG Ally OGs because they play plugged in all the time, and that's perfect. They have no need to upgrade, and I totally get it. Get it. So you need to dissect your situation, what you want out of your device, how you're going to game, and that's kind of like how you roll. So, Kay, whenever you're ready, man, I'll turn it over to you because you sir, are lucky you got something today. I'm going to pretend I'm not jealous, but I am. I'm going to turn it over to you, sir. Show off what you got.
So there's a reason I sold my ROG Ally, and I sold it because there was another device that was coming out, and it's almost like they knew that today was the day they were going to release the Ally, because I started getting my DHL notifications a couple days ago. First, they said it'd be here by Wednesday, but as you know, DHL likes to underpromise and overdeliver, so it actually showed up today. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the device that I have been excited for, and that is the One X Player Mini. Now, when I say the One X Player Mini, let's not let them fool you. They say mini, they mean mini compared to the big dog, because the big dog is huge. It's like 10.95 inch screen.
Yeah, but this is cool too. Don't get it twisted. This is nice and large.
Yeah. So I'm logging in right.
That sounded a little weird. a
little. I'm logging in right now, and that's why I have this thing in my hand, because one thing it does that's really cool is it uses Windows Hello. So you can keep your passwords and everything locked. It sees your face and it unlocks.
That's really cool. That's really
cool.
So
let me see if I can share it real quick. Let's see how this works. So this is the One X Player Mini, and let me move it. Forgive the lighting. The lighting is a little weird. I will find a better way. And I have an unboxing video that I've done. I'm gonna show that off. But see, as you see, it's like a tablet with its controller right here.
Yep.
Right. This is the controller, and it has like a little thing, and it connects to 2.4 gigahertz USB at the top, right, and at the bottom a USB-C at the top, and it connects to this, and this is how you do this, right?
And it has Oculink also, correct?
It has an Oculink port at the bottom. Now,
there you go.
The reason why, from my use case, this was super exciting is because when I travel, and I'll be traveling a lot, this is my traveling companion.
Oh, dude, I'm so jealous of you right now. Right? I got to get a pair of those.
So this is my traveling companion. I usually plug it into my phone. I'm watching a movie or whatever. This way, I can put this on the tray table, plug this guy in. No one is looking at me, and I'm just like playing my game with my controller in my hand. Don't need to have the game system in my hand. I've done it with the Switch. I've done it with the Steam Deck. I've done it with the ROG Ally. And after, if you're on a long flight, ROG Ally, first off, can't get you on a long flight. You got to keep it plugged in.
No, you got to get it.
Yep. Right, but I don't want to keep holding the device in my hand like this while I'm controlling this big blank device while I have the glasses on. So I use this. This is what made it. This is what took it over the top for me. You could just, and by the way, I'm showing it to you in a different way, because how it actually looks is you can, just like a switch.
Yeah, you got to show that
controls off.
Show that off.
You take the controls off, right, and then all you have now is basically the middle button, this middle thing, which you turn off, right? And then I can let me do this real quick and show that to the peoples.
You show it off.
Click and click, and
literally like a Switch,
like an actual and it's a 10.8 inch, 8.8 inch device, right? Yes. Same power profile as the most handhelds that are out there now. This is the 8840U, so the bigger brother to the 7840U. So no shade, it's a little bit more powerful than the ROG Ally and the Ally X. The battery on this is a 65 milliwatt hour, So the Ally X beats it in battery performance by 20 watts or 20 watts or something like that, right? This has the 32 gigs of RAM. I could have gone with the 64, but I didn't want to spend too much money, so I went to 32. Now
I think you did.
well,
yeah, you got the
yeah,
middle,
yeah.
which is perfect.
It's more than enough. Yeah, that's right. And you can like raise the VRAM to like 16 gigs or keep it to 8, like you all in the software. It's very easy to do. Now, remember I said there was a little bit of criticism that I had with the Ally in not only the weight. I think that they should have also optimized the way you upgrade the SSD a little bit.
Okay.
Why? Because if you look at this guy, see the little this kickstand?
Yep.
Underneath it is 4 screws. That's where the hard drive is. You
That's
literally take the
perfect.
thing out, you can plug in the hard drive, close it. That's it. You don't need to open
wow.
this ever.
Yep. That is perfect.
Like at all. All you do is just click it right in, put the 4 screws back in, it's back to normal. Like it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
So,
they actually went above and beyond for the user with that actually.
Exactly. So you can swap it out easily.
They kind of gave you kind of like an Xbox solution where it's just an expansion card, you know? Just
Exactly. It's kind of very much an expansion card like. Now, to be fair, this also uses 2230s, which is the smaller ones. I would have liked them to use the bigger normal SSDs.
Oh, yeah.
M.2. So you
not
can
a
get
deal breaker
bigger
though.
ones.
It's not a deal
It's not a deal breaker. Yes. But I love that you don't have to crack the back open and mess with ribbon cables. It literally 4 screws, it's out, you plug in the new one, you're good to go. Right.
And Kay, how big is that screen? It's 8.8?
8.8 inch screen, yes.
Okay,
8.8 inch screen. It's beautiful. 144 hertz, 8.8 inch screen.
Nice. So the 1X device that I have, also you can
Mhm.
take off the sides of the tablet. If I had my camera set up stuff, I would show you guys. Unfortunately, I don't. But one of the things that I like about the 1X.
So real quick, before we move on, I know people are asking me real quick. So they asked, what are those glasses? So
go ahead.
my daily driver has been the X-Real glasses. I bought them way before. Like actually, they sent me a review unit.
I remember that. Yeah.
The X-Real glasses, right? But as of the last flight I had, they cracked on the side, and they're getting a little older. You know, they cracked on the side. So way back when, they also sent me a review of the ROG glasses. That's these, and I liked the X-Real better. But these had better OLEDs, better beautiful, because it's like huge OLED on your face. Yeah. So with those cracked, I kind of moved on to these, and I'm really liking these better. And real quick, for those who want to know, like I like these a lot because I don't wear prescriptions, but if I did, they have diopters here. You can dial in your prescription, so you don't have to worry about, you know, putting an extra prescription lens on it or whatever. You can literally make it to your prescription level and be able to use it. It basically has the same features as the X-Real glasses, except it has extra features. I really like it. I like having these as my traveling companions. You can plug it into a phone. It's beautiful. It's great. And you plug it into this thing, and you're basically just off to the races. Your gaming headset on, you know, and you're good to go. So I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Let me ask you this: can you keep? Because when I bought a pair back then, I returned them because one of the things I didn't like was that the screen rotates with your head. Have they fixed that, Kay? Where
yes.
Okay.
Yes. The if you want, and where's mine? Hold on.
You know what I'm talking about, right? That like
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
So if you want to do that, right? If you want one that stays stable in time and space, you can get one of these things. Now, this only specifically for the X-Real, and I actually, since the X-Real no longer works, I might actually sell these or something. But basically, what this does is it gives you Wi-Fi, it gives you extra battery. Because one of the good things about these headphones is, like of the glasses, is they sip off of the battery off of your existing device.
That's right.
So it'll sip battery from here. But if you don't want it to do that because I want to keep my battery, this is an extra battery. It doubles as a Wi-Fi radio, so you can actually have apps running on this because it's Android based. And another thing it does is it lets you keep things in space and time. So you can put a screen here, move everywhere, and the screen is still right there. It doesn't follow you as you were describing.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the only
so
thing. Yeah.
these
So
things exist that help you do that. Yeah.
so before I finish what I was telling you about
Mm-hmm.
my 1X player, let
Mm-hmm.
me do two things. The first one is
Okay.
Dr. Dry Rub is asking, can you link both glasses in the notes, K, when the show is
Oh yeah,
done?
absolutely,
So
absolutely. For the man with one of the best names in our community, sir.
I agree.
Absolutely, I will put that in the chat for
Sound,
you. I'll put that in
sound,
the show notes for you, sir.
sounds a little painful, but okay. So
Hey man, he's got to suffer for his art.
hey,
What are you gonna
hey,
do?
whatever you gotta do. Like the good,
Uh-huh.
like Steve Rogers once said, whatever it takes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Whatever it takes, absolutely, yes. Oh,
So
but real quick, what I want to bring, what I want to show you, right?
hold
It's
on,
not just this. So okay,
don't.
go ahead,
I got one more thing. I got one more thing for the
please.
chat or for
Sure.
anybody that catches this. So I was sent a 1
Mm-hmm.
month Game Pass code
Oh,
with my
nice,
purchase of the ROG Ally X, and
excellent.
I'm going to put it in the chat right now. And I'm also
Hey, look at
gonna
that.
show it off. Now, here's a caveat.
Mhm.
I think it's only for new members. So
Okay.
if you have someone that you want to give it out and share, or you
Mhm.
need it because you're not on Game Pass, that's the only caveat. It's for new
Excellent,
members. Okay. I did read
excellent,
that. Okay. So I'm going to leave that up there for a
excellent.
little while. Go ahead, Kay. What were you going to show off?
Well, first off, Dr. Dryler says, "Don't knock it till you try it." Damn, son. No, sir. Anyway, so what I was gonna say was, and I'll have I have an unboxing that I will edit and put out online probably tomorrow. But just wanted to show some of the accessories it came with. So this thing, as you saw, the controllers are disconnectable and all that. So they came like this. And the controllers basically, and it has a dish.
Oh,
that
like
you
the
can switch
serious,
connectors to.
like the elite.
Yes,
controller.
so you can disconnect the controllers and put them in there and close them up, right? And I'll actually do that real quick because I feel like that they are trying to sell a vision that I think is really interesting.
Mhm.
So imagine you do not use these controllers, right? Now you have them just as a normal tablet, right? And you'd go, well, why do you want to use it as a normal tablet? But because they are a normal tablet, you can, and this came with the base to keep the base
Okay.
protected,
Gotcha.
right?
Yep.
As a normal tablet, it comes with a Surface-like keyboard,
Yep. I have one too for mine,
right?
and it's
So
awesome.
you plug it in, and now you have like a full-fledged PC, and it does all PC things. Like it's full-fledged PC keyboard, mouse, the whole nine. And by the way, the shiny thing you see there, that is my camera catching the Windows Hello thing, because that's what it does. It uses IR to detect your face. You would never see that yourself.
That's John Wolf. I can't. I'm gonna lock myself up.
You would never see that yourself, but on this you'll see it because the camera will show that. But yeah, it comes with these things as accessories, right?
That's
So
awesome.
you can basically like combine them and then use it for your regular PC needs. It's pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do one more thing along with the glasses. That's also put on the notes where anyone that's interested in this device can get it. I believe is it still on Indiegogo that people can still pre-order it?
You can buy it from their store. Like you could just go to their store and buy one now.
1xplayer.com.
Yeah. You can that has been a criticism of theirs that I think is fair. Like they've released enough of these devices, and usually by the time they have the Indiegogo campaign, this is not just a prototype. They already are like ready to mass produce. Like the Indiegogo finished like a week ago, and already I have the device in hand. They were done already, right? So at this point, I do feel like, yeah. Oh, how much is it? How much over $1,000 is it? It's actually not a $1,000.
Yeah,
it cost me this one. This one cost me $900, something like that. Yeah, because it had, and the reason why I did is because I bought it with I had some accessories that came with it. Right now, let's be clear here. The reason why it's not ROG Ally price is because it's not a Samsung. It's a way smaller company by comparison.
Right. Well, Fuzzy, let me answer your question because I'm right on the website. If you were to go
how
to
much
the
does it cost
right now,
on the website
1xplayerstore.com, you're looking at the same one that Kay has here. You got the 1 terabyte? Is that
I got
the
1 terabyte? Yeah.
$1,049 right now.
See, and the reason why it's $1,049 is because you're not buying it on Indiegogo. That's why they entice you to go to Indiegogo.
Right.
Because then you get the quote unquote what do you call it, the
early bird.
They call it the early bird pricing, and then they also include a bunch of accessories. Right? That's why you get it that way as well. So,
yeah,
no, I'm really liking it. I'm gonna do a bit more digging through it. Actually, I didn't show you everything it came with. They also threw in a mouse. I don't know why they threw in a mouse.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't even
awesome
opened
though.
it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, and they also, weirdly enough, threw in a
Ethernet.
an Ethernet enabled port
Oh,
adapter.
that's cool.
So
Yeah.
3 extra USB ports
Hey.
and an Ethernet jack, all through USB-C. So if you had to be at hotel Wi-Fi and you wanted to do Ethernet connecting, they also threw this thing in as well. So
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
they kind of threw the kitchen sink at this whole situation. It's pretty good. It's
I
pretty
agree.
good.
I agree with
Yeah.
Fuzzy, true portable PC.
Yeah.
So okay, I know you kind of showed it off, kind of like
Mhm.
tell me some of the
Oh,
things you did today in the few hours.
yeah. So I'll play a video, and this is from Game Tech Talk. I want people to go check out his review.
Yeah.
The dude did a great job in this review. I really enjoyed his review, and like he had his hands on one before it was released officially. He was able to get the One X player to send him a review unit. Like, and I hope to have him on my show sometime soon. I've been talking with him in the DMs.
Yeah.
Great dude, awesome review. He was super excited about the hardware and what they were doing. He had some criticisms for them as well, and I mean, I personally don't think that his criticisms are unfound, but I really appreciated his review. So if you're interested in this thing, you know, as you were getting excited about the ROG Ally, there aren't as many reviews for this as there are the Ally, obviously, because the Ally is the big dog in the room, right? They are the radio hits, as I call them, right?
Mhm.
So if you are excited about this, there are a few reviews you can do. And actually, let me put this thing on the screen. He actually featured that, right? This is the definitive. These are the specs of it, right? You can see it for yourself. So go check out his review. It's really awesome. He did a great job. He got me super excited. I reached out to him in the DM. I had never spoken to him before. I'm like, bro, your review like got me psyched for this thing. Appreciate you doing this stuff, and we got to talking. But yeah, I hope more people will check it out. His site is called Game Tech Talk, and he does a lot of reviews, lots of the various handhelds and stuff. But I really enjoyed his review. He showed everything off. By the way, the reason why this is the mini is because there's a max. There's the proper X1, which is freaking huge by comparison, almost 11-inch screen. So it made me go, nah, I think this one's good enough, because I like mobility a bit, and 8.8 inch is still right on that cusp of mobility. 10 inch is a little too far for almost 11 is a little too far for me. So
I mean,
that's why I did not for that one.
I mean, the Legion Go, my time that I had it, it was nice, man. You know, the size, I'm currently happy with the 8.2 that I have with the current One X player. And I'm excited to go back to something a little bit more portable for the ROG Ally X. But again, it depends on the type of gamer, and it depends on your mood. So
they're asking what version of RDNA it is. I think it's RDNA 3, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 3 or 4. I think it's 3. Mr. MJ Dark, but short of me going to Google it real quick, would you mind telling us? Because I know you know.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's RDNA 3.
I've seen this. I've seen two questions pop up a lot. Okay, let's address them. It is a portrait display. And
yes, it is a portrait display. Yes, and that's the reason why when you look at the what do you call it, when you do the Windows Hello, you'll see the hello is on this side of the screen. That's the top of the screen. That's the portrait. But it runs at landscape like this all the time.
Right. And one more question I've seen a couple of times is VRR. I don't think it has VRR.
It does not have VRR. Now I could be wrong, and it's not that I could be wrong. What happens is they did not put VRR in there natively. Now this screen, by all accounts, they say this is the Legion Go screen. Like, it's exactly like the Legion Go, to the point where they think it was manufactured and pulled from the same manufacturer that makes Legion Go. Now, Legion Go had a VRR screen. There are I've seen in past instances where the community can roll drivers that enable VRR even though it's not enabled yet. This is early days on this device, so I want to see what happens there. But there is a chance that you will be able to enable the VRR yourself via an update that the community will put out. But so far, the official word, it is not VRR. It is not VRR enabled. Yeah.
Okay, and then with if you really think about it though, we might double check don't quote us
Mhm.
on that, but I had the Legion Go. I don't think it has a VRR screen either.
Yeah. Yes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the Legion Go did not have a VRR screen and was VRR enabled by the community.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Because it was VRR capable, but they didn't officially support it.
Gotcha. And then one of the things too is that obviously the One X software, I love it. I think it's really well done. They do great work. They bring out great updates. So definitely
it's a big reason why I chose this device. Like unless you're a really big fan of Armory Crate, which I am a fan of. I think Armory Crate did well, and Armory Crate continues to do well, but it takes over Windows, right? And whenever it screws up, then the whole Windows screws up. And I that happened to me one too many times. I've heard that it's gotten better over time. So salute to Asus for that. But if you're not a Legion Go person, if you're not an Ally Armory Crate full replacement person, you want something that just pops up on the side and gives you all the stuff. This does things that even the Ally can't do. Like whereas the Ally has profiles, right? You can set your low, your medium, your high, and then you can go in and create sub profiles if you want. This one just lets you go 4, lets you go from 4 to 30 just by the dial. Right. You can set up like auto TDP, and it'll go up and down based on what you want. So a lot of the same stuff that it does, the Legion Go does, the Ally does, where you can customize your control scheme. On the back of the controllers, just like the Ally, there are these control buttons right here that can not only be, you can put like your own mapping, you can also macro. So you can set up and do like 15 hit combos by pressing one button if you so choose.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then
stuff like that.
I didn't mention this, and shame on me. Yes, you are correct. 6th layer, the new Armory Crate is better from everything we've seen, and it is it is available for everyone, even original ROG Ally owners. So take advantage, guys. And that's something that we didn't mention. So, Kay, is there? Let me ask you before we get going. I know you've only had it for a few hours, and you set up your stuff and everything. Have you played anything on it? Is there?
So I actually like, so
it was a sneak
as y'all know, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of like, indie games and stuff. I've been playing a game called Gestalt. If you haven't heard me talk about it on the GCP over the weekend, MJ Dark also recommended it. Really cool indie Metroidvania 2D style game. I've also been playing what do you call it? The director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima on it as well. Those are the two that it's literally just a couple of hours. I've been testing a few games on there. I'm going to put a lot more games on there as well. I'm going to do like heavy emulation. It's going to be a lot going to be done with this screen and this device. I plan on taking it with me to Germany like this. So when I enter customs, they'll be like, "What is this device?" I'm like, "It's my mini computer."
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Are you sure?
This is just my computer. Don't mind the controls that are in the other case. No, this is my computer. That's it." Exactly. So I'm gonna be taking this with me and really putting it through its paces. Oh, I will also say, it does come with an SD card slot, and currently I have a 1.5 terabyte SD card in it.
Yeah, you're doing big things.
So like it's fully fledged, ready to go. It's not a thin beast. Look at that. It's not thin, right? But this has 65 milliwatt battery in it, right?
Yep.
And it's like one of the and these guys are honestly like you'd consider these guys mom and pop in comparison to your Lenovo Legion Go or your ROG Ally. This is one of the best, like heaviest, well-built devices I have ever come across.
Yeah, my One X player is well built as well.
It is so like metallic and well built and really, really decent. Again, I would still recommend you buy a ROG Ally, right? I would still recommend you do that. Mr. Pixelbit G asked me, which device is this? Oh yeah, this is the newly released, just came out today. This is the One X Player Mini. And it has an 8840U chipset in it, so
I think stay tuned for
a lot.
Boy, actually, that?
Yeah, I think
He has the 10
you
point.
have the yes, he has the Intel based 1X player,
Yes.
the regular one, the Max.
Yeah.
Like this is the 88 this is the 8.8 inch AMD variant. So you know what this is about. You've seen this before. So stay tuned. I will be I'll probably tonight, if not early tomorrow, you're gonna see an unboxing from me where I show you all the pieces, the puzzle that came in. And then I'm gonna do a full-fledged, you know, play some games, show it off, some reviews on this thing on the channel. You guys have seen me do a little bit of that review for the what do you call it, the Fire Stick. That was my preamble into starting to edit and do a bit more of this stuff. So you're gonna see more of that from me on this. But yeah, I love this thing. It's pretty cool so far. You guys know that I've used the AOK Zoe for some years. I expect this will be the device that replaces it. You know, so I'm excited to put it through its paces.
Cool, man. Super happy for you. Super excited.
Yeah.
Glad you got your hands on it. And now it's looking forward to that video, man. I'm really looking forward to it because the last video, and I'll let you plug it so that we can get going, Kay. Let's talk about that that Fire Stick better Game Pass video that you put up last week, so that we can direct folks that way and to the website.
Sure.
Kay, and let the good folks, we have over 285 watching. We appreciate all of you. Let the good folks know, okay, where you're going to be for the rest of the week. We kind of know what you're going to be busy doing.
I'll be busy with this thing.
I'll be busy with the ROG Ally X when it finally gets here, and then let them know, man.
So, hold on. Before we do that, Dr. Dry Rub, love saying this man's name, has a question. He says, serious question. Have the handhelds caused you to play less games on your consoles or home PCs? I haven't touched my gaming PC or console since the ROG Ally Z1 Extreme.
I'm telling you.
Interesting question. So for me, it's always been like, and the more handhelds and the more places you game, the more you find this, at least in my experience where I found it. Like Dungeons of Hinterberg, right? I've played it on my Series S with the X screen attached. It's actually right over there. Like next to me in bed, I'm playing it there. I could play it on my handheld. I could play it on the PC. I could play it on the Steam Deck. I could play it in many places. But I find that the just that game and its atmosphere on the X screen on my Series S, I enjoy playing it there. So I play that at night before I go to bed. It's nice, it's calming, it's fun. You just get to slay some dungeon monsters and whatnot. It's fun. I find that what do you call it? Flintlock. I enjoy playing that on the Series X. I could play it on the PC. I play it on the Series X in my living room on the OLED, right? I find that having more places to game for me has made me game more in different places depending on what mood I'm in or what I'm trying to play. But by and large, I do play a lot on my handhelds, right? But as I said, I won't be playing like Phantom Liberty on the handheld. I could, right? But I don't want to play it there. So instead, I'll play that here, sitting in the living room, big old screen, awesome, like 4090 machine, whatever, right? So it's not that I've played less and only play there. It depends on the mood I'm in and the kind of game I want to play. Balatro, oh hell yeah! This thing's touchscreen. I'm not even putting on the controllers. I'm just gonna be there touching it. Yeah, Balatro, you could play Balatro on this thing at like 4-watt TDP. You're busy. For like
you'll be there all.
Yeah,
you'll be there all day.
You know what I mean? So it depends on the more handhelds and the more places you find yourself able to game, you find that you'll start leaning towards the device that feels comfortable to you depending on the game. That's at least my experience. How about you, man?
Yeah, man, I find myself, Kay, just since we're kind of blessed that we have so many things, I really try to be cognizant of the things that we have, and I try to take advantage as much as I can of each device. So throughout the week, I might be playing on my Odin Pro 2. Then I'll be like, you know what? I haven't given my PC any love. Let me go to that. I got a PS3 that's sitting somewhere. I play on that. PS5, etc., etc. The PS Portal. I try to make it a point to at least use one of my devices at least once every few days of the week and the month. You know what I'm saying?
Do you still have a Steam Deck?
Yes, I do.
Okay. One thing I will say, of all the devices, I don't play as much on the deck, but every once in a while, I'll load a game on the deck and slap myself in like shock at how well it plays on the goddamn deck.
Dude, and you never
the last time was
OLED,
Flintlock,
right?
No, I never got the OLED. The
Oh,
last one
man.
was Flintlock,
Nice.
right? So
Yeah.
Flintlock, I installed it on the deck expecting it to be all stuttery mess because this is Flintlock. I was stunned at how well that game, like butter, smooth,
It's
Flintlock
Valve,
on the LCD deck. I was just like, yo, this thing's still amazing.
The Valve has that Disney magic. What can I say?
Indeed. Yep.
So yeah, okay. So let's talk about something that you worked on, man, and I want to give it its time so that people can go and watch it.
Yeah.
XCloud, man, because as we know, the Fire Stick Xbox kind of pushed out the capability to play through cloud gaming through the Fire Stick, and we've you talked about it on last week's show, and I'm sure we'll keep on talking about it as the weeks progress. But you kind of did your homework and you kind of put this out there so people can get a better experience. Go ahead.
Yeah. So here's the quick video. You can find it if you happen to be on the channel. You can scroll down and find it under Tech Drops or under my videos. I did 2 videos there. One specifically for just the standard review, and the other one was a piece of software I found that made the experience just a bit better. And for the audience here, it's not specific to the Fire Stick. It's actually any Android device can benefit from this. And actually for my audience at large here, any PC can benefit from this as well. So check out the video. It's called Better XCloud, right? And I have the link there. I'll put the link. I share the website here. And the reason why I'm like it's for any devices, like it's basically a bunch of scripts that they've added to and an app depending on which platform you're on. If you're on Windows or Mac or any of those, these are plugins they've added to the browser that gives you access to a lot more functionality and options than you would have on the normal interface, right? So you can force 1080p on everything. You can force higher bit rates and stuff like that. If you're on an Android device, though, they actually created an Android device called Better XCloud, which the video here explains how to install it, right? So it's a relatively easy process. I show you how to install it. And by the way you install this is the way you install any Android app on the Fire Stick. So if you have an Android app you want to run on the Fire Stick, but it's not in the store, you can follow this process and run your APK from there and it'll work, right? But basically what this does is it opens, like I said, it opens the door to being able to modify settings and doing all these extra things that you normally could not do. And here, I'll show you real quick. You normally couldn't get these settings in the background of any of them. And you can do this on your PC. You can do this on your browser, on your Edge browser, on your Chrome browser, on your Safari browser, right? Even LG TVs, you can follow their instructions and run it on there as well. So it's a really cool thing. If you happen to have one of these devices, or you happen to be a Game Pass subscriber and you want to test these waters, it's pretty cool. Give it a shot. I found myself installing it in most places and trying it out. It won't make it perfect, don't get me wrong, but it's better than the original version they give you. It gives you a little bit more agency in it. So if you want to support the channel, come check it out. Watch the video. I think 500 people have watched it so far. I appreciate all the views that the people have been giving it. It's pretty cool. I thought it was something interesting. The next thing I'll be doing is I'll be putting a video of the One X player. I'll do a full review, and that will make it on the channel as well. So keep an eye out for the next couple of days, and I'll most likely have it done probably by next week.
Nice, man. And what other shows are going to be on this week, hey?
As you know, I never let Boomstick down. I will be there this week, Wednesday. I'm sure he'll have some interesting topics for us as well. And of course, I will be once again on the Gaming Circle podcast, GCP, this Saturday. I don't know the guest just yet. I'm trying to see if I can line up an interesting guest. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's a great time to game. I'm sure I'll be talking a lot more about this device on that show as well. By then, I'll probably have a lot more games under my belt. So come check me out. Come check us out, and we always have fun on the Saturday morning. So
yeah,
and I'm sure it'll be there. Yep.
It'll be nice because it'll be a nice comparison, because I know Everborn should get his ROG Ally X sometime this week.
Yep.
So it'll be a nice way to compare the devices and talk about them. So okay. Unless you got anything else to say, man, I don't know. I think we've kind of reached the end of the road on this episode 44.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. The last thing I will say is we're trying to make the channel better, specifically for these reviews and things. I want to get more into those review talk. I'm trying to talk Mr. John Wolf into doing his own review when his Ally X shows up. You know, talk about what he feels the pluses and minuses are from a consumer standpoint when he gets it in his hands. We want to really like be the channel that you can come to when some of these devices are out there, and you may see it yourself or you may not see it. You want our opinions. I want to button that up, maybe do some editing, clean it up, you know, be a bit more informative with all of these handhelds and things that are coming out. So if you like it, please consider hitting the like button on the channel, watch the stuff, be a member if you want to support us in that way. Leave feedback, right? The more you leave feedback, the better we get with it.
Yep,
we would love to hear what you want to see, what you don't want to see. You know, more speeds and feeds, less speeds and feeds, more about consumer, less about consumer. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that helps us hone the material and make it the stuff you want to watch. So Thank you guys so much for being here as usual.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is, again, here's a 1-month Game Pass code that I got with the ROG Ally X. The code was sent to me. The only caveat being, I believe it's only for new members. So if you have a friend that they just don't want to give Xbox a chance for whatever reason, it's a month of Game Pass that they can try out.
Bully them into trying it.
Yeah, exactly. Tell them, you know, like take their phone from them and put it on there, you know? So yeah, guys, it's been a great show. We'll see you next week, and we'll have more tech talk. Peace, everyone.
Peace.